All right, let me go ahead and start to read some of these comments.
Yo, it is hot. It
It's
is hot
hot.
here. I'm gonna take off my sweater. Give me 1 second.
Oh,
It's gonna make a lot of noise if you wanna
bow,
hold this.
bow, bow.
Oh yeah, real sexy. Should include that in the edit.
Hi, hello, how are you? It's so fantastic to have you here today. I'm stoked. I'm so stoked. Guess who's here?
It's me again.
I'm back.
And I mean, I think you've explained this before, maybe in the first video, but I never know what is gonna happen in these things. I never know what she's gonna ask me. I'm always just like completely, not in the know.
He's just here for the ride. He's just here for a good time,
Mm-hmm.
not a long time. So I have to pick short stories because he's impatient.
I am. I'm working on it. Okay.
We also have an even more special guest, as you can see, far more important than Steven.
100% more important.
We have Sprout today,
Mm-hmm.
and that is so exciting. She's very temperamental, so I want to pet her, I want to touch her,
But
I
not.
won't because I would love for her to stay here for the whole
Just for
video.
your benefit, we're just not gonna. We're gonna resist.
But she's so cutie.
The ever elusive Sprout is finally
Ever-elusive.
here.
This may be the only time you get to see her like live.
Soak it in.
Soak it in. Anyway, the theme for this week, I've decided to go with True Off My Chest.
True off my chest. Okay.
So we've got people who...
Confessions. These are like confessions.
These are like confessions. I think I have read from our confessions before, and I think our confessions can be a little bit more freaky and nasty.
Okay.
I think a lot of the things that people write on here are things that they're like sad about, or at least that's what I've found.
Okay.
I didn't pick a bunch of sad stories.
I was gonna say, is this gonna be a depressing episode? This is gonna be quite the
No.
juxtaposition with this cat.
No. But yeah, people who maybe they don't really have anybody to tell these things to, so they're like, I just need to get this off of my chest.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it. First story. So, first story is titled, I, 21 female, am scared that I'm in love with my best friend, female 22. And it goes, who's it from? Not a lemon. Not a lemon. It's from user Not a Lemon. That's great. My best friend, female 22, is a lesbian, and I've, female 21, identified as bisexual for the longest, since middle school. We've been best friends since middle school, but I've never thought of her in a romantic way, even when other people thought we were dating. Some time ago, I went out with a group of friends, best friend included, and my boyfriend, male 22. My best friend was flirting with another girl. I saw it, and something inside me broke. It hurt so much to see her flirting with the other girl. I was drunk that night, and I kept contributing my feelings to just me being drunk. Honestly, I've been in a loving relationship for the last 4 years. My boyfriend is so good to me, and I try to be the same. I'm scared to acknowledge that day and how I felt. I just needed to put this somewhere. This has been weighing on me for like 2 weeks.
Short and sweet.
Short and
Short and
sweet.
sweet.
Short
I
and
never know
sweet.
where to fucking put this thing.
You can get a little animated, so I wouldn't advise you to put
Yeah,
it.
don't put it in my mouth, basically.
Please don't put that in your mouth. You can put other things in your mouth,
Okay.
but not that.
I mean, this isn't a very unique situation. I feel like, I've heard of stories where people are suddenly developing feelings for people that are I guess they consider their friends for many years. I don't find this particularly shocking, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I guess it sucks for the boyfriend to suddenly find out that the girlfriend that he's had for the last 4 years is actually, in love with someone else. So that sucks for him more than anybody else.
I don't know how I feel about this. That sucks, man.
But she's also very young, 21, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think that if you truly feel that the way you feel about somebody and you're that fucking young, tell your boyfriend. Tell your boyfriend and see where that goes, Like she said, it almost seems like she's not sure yet whether it's true or not, because you mentioned how like she was kind of drunk during this time where she had this epiphany, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, obviously the saying in vino veritas, right? But who knows? You know what I mean? It could have just been a passing feeling. But if she's been sitting with it now for like several months after that fact, then clearly there's something there. And I think you owe it to yourself to be true to your feelings. You know, you have only one life to live. So if you are unhappy and in your current relationship, you owe it to yourself and that other person, to be honest. Now, whether or not that friend or whatever will reciprocate, that's a different story, you know?
I think because it's only been 2 weeks, I don't know if I would advise, not that you said that, you said like several months, which I agree with that. It's only been 2 weeks, you were drunk, and this person is like your best friend. I wonder if there's maybe a part of her where like maybe she's just nervous about losing her best friend to somebody else. Maybe she's like, she doesn't mention her best friend ever being in like another relationship before. So maybe she's just like, oh no, I don't want this new person to be in my friend's life and I like lose my best friend to somebody. I wonder if maybe there could be an element of that. I would say to sit on these feelings for a little bit, especially because it's not like her boyfriend is this shitty person or he, she's like not attracted to her boyfriend anymore. She doesn't make any type of mention of that. So I'm inclined for her to kind of just wait it out a little bit and see if her best friend actually ends up in a relationship with somebody else. If she's like, oh man, every time I see my best friend kissing on this person, I wish it was me.
I need you. I need you. I need you.
If she's just like, oh, my best friend's not available for me as much anymore, I miss her.
What do you normally do when I'm gone?
Wait for you to get back.
So I'm curious if she's just nervous about not having as much time with her best friend.
That's
or
an
what.
interesting point. I would never have considered that. I wonder if that's just my male brain not thinking about just like the concept of like losing your friend to the girlfriend or boyfriend. Actually, that's not true. Yeah, like we definitely have talked about in my friend group, like, oh, so and so got a girlfriend now. I mean, this has been years. I mean, all my friends now have girlfriends, probably for like
You're
many
all
years,
your friends have
fiancés
wives
or
now.
wives now. Whatever, back in the day, okay. But I remember like, damn, I haven't seen homie in so long because like he's been with this girl forever, like, or started seeing this girl and like we never fucking see that dude now anymore. So yeah, now to actually say it out loud, that's actually true. I think dudes actually say that a lot. So that's a very good point. Actually, it could just be stemmed from that. I don't think that it happens very often to dudes though, to be like, well, let me just date him to make sure that he could still hang with the boys, Unless you are secretly gay or bi.
To date any of your boyfriends?
No, I can't say any of my boyfriends. No, I can't say so. Yeah, no, not at all. So, yeah, maybe that's really why I've never thought about this, is because I'm not gay. So I've never thought about dating my friends.
All right, let me go ahead and start to read some of these comments.
Yo, it is hot. It
It's
is hot
hot.
here. I'm gonna take off my sweater.
Aww.
1 second. It's gonna make a lot of noise. If you wanna hold this.
Bow, bow.
Oh, yeah, real sexy.
So Stephen has shed a layer of He has shed a layer of clothing.
Skin.
He's putting it out there for you.
Yeah. Yeah, my real sexy arms.
First comment in here is that something broke in me feeling is usually real. Alcohol might have turned the volume up, but it doesn't invent feelings out of nowhere. It also doesn't automatically mean you're in love with her. It could be jealousy. It could be realizing you have a deeper attachment than you thought. It could even be fear of losing your person.
Wow. This person like read your mind,
know,
or
right?
you read this comment's mind.
The easiest way to check is to ask yourself, do you want her specifically, or do you just want the closeness attention to stay yours? That person adds to their comment, either way, don't blow up your 4-year relationship over one drunk moment. Sit on it for a bit, stop doom thinking, and see if it comes up again when you're sober. If it keeps showing up, then your sign is that you need a real conversation with yourself or maybe a therapist, not a panic confession to your best friend.
Yeah, 100%. I think the thing should be here is sit with it for a while, contemplate, meditate on it before you just suddenly make rash decisions. I think for most things in life, the last thing you want to do is make a rash decision about anything. So I think some general good life advice is sit and contemplate for a little bit, before making major decisions. Is probably a good general piece of advice.
So you're saying she shouldn't kick her boyfriend out and propose to her best friend?
Right. Yeah, that's probably taking it a little too far.
OP replies back to this comment saying, I agree. I've been thinking about this sober since that day. Luckily, my college has free therapy, so I think I'm going to take this to a therapist. I've been struggling with a lot of feelings. Guilt and shame is part of it, for having maybe other feelings towards another person while being in a relationship. So yeah, I think that she's right. This is above Reddit's pay grade, and a therapist would better be able to help her discern her feelings. And
I can't wait till we start sending invoices out to these people. It'd be great. Because that's what's happening, right? People are listening to this.
I'm tracking them all down, and I'm like, my advice is not free. You didn't ask for it, but here's the bill.
Exactly. Yeah. We're pioneering a new business model.
Unsolicited advice.
Unsolicited advice.
That's what this channel...
Unsolicited advice as a service. It's a paid subscription model, okay?
That's what this channel should have been called. Unsolicited advice.
There's always time to pivot. Okay.
But yeah, no, I think sound advice. Go talk to a therapist and figure out what your feelings really, really mean. Are they really, really romantic? Do you just really love your best friend, as a friend, or do you love your best friend? You know what I mean? Well, I guess we'll see. Hopefully OP writes back, because the story was only 14 hours old. But next story is, I'm an avid feminist, but deep down, I want to obey a man and be a good submissive wife for him.
Okay. Secretly wants to be, what the fuck do the kids call it nowadays? A trad wife?
Trad wife.
God. Okay.
So this is coming from Vast Advertising 6494. It's an hour old from when I pulled this. And it goes. This has always made me feel ashamed and a hypocrite. I've been a feminist since I was 12 years old. I grew up in a very misogynistic culture. I've always defended women and women's rights fiercely, but deep down, I have this desire of obeying a man. Initially, I thought it was just a bedroom thing, but no, I want to be dominated in and outside of the bedroom. The thought of marrying a masculine man and obeying him is so enticing. I'd cook for him, let him have the final say in decisions, give him as much children as he wants, do what he tells me to do, and try to please him in every possible way. I feel like such a hypocrite. Now, I know many moderate, chill feminists will not see a problem with this and tell me it's my choice, but if I told this to my friends who are also avid feminists, I'd get judged so bad. What's so wrong with obeying a man who loves you and respects you? And aside from that, how can I even find the right man for me? Mind you, this is one sentence.
It's one run-on.
Maybe she needs to find a teacher before she finds a man. But anyway, aside from this, how can I even find the right man for me? Most masculine men who take charge in relationships are usually anti-feminist, and I don't really like their views. So finding a partner for me is extremely complicated. Sometimes I think I should just stop being a feminist and leave it for women who actually are serious about it.
Wow. I have a lot of thoughts.
What are your thoughts?
And I'm trying to be measured. Well, because this one is interesting because it obviously has political undertones to it. And you know me. I mean, I've kind of every time I've been on this channel somehow slip out what my political viewpoints are sometimes, and I never miss an opportunity to talk about my political viewpoints. But yeah, and this kind of melds into a territory which I've shared with you many times before, I think has done a disservice to our society a lot, which is like the culture wars that seem to be going on. I think take way too much airtime compared to things that I think are like more important, which are like socioeconomic issues that I think affect broadly, a very broad sweep of our society. Poverty affects you no matter what your race, gender, sexual orientation is. So, and I think that the powers that be want us to focus on these, like, I don't want to call them like unimportant or inconsequential, but I feel at this point in time are that they're very divisive, and I feel like the powers that be want us to focus on these very divisive cultural issues, because then it prevents us from thinking about those socioeconomic issues, right? I'll get off that stool and jump onto another stool now. That being said, yeah, I've also, I think, shared with you in the past how I feel like, and I'm a feminist, right?
You are. You're the girliest girl.
I love women, and that's a very layered statement, right? But no, I value women's opinions tremendously, and that starts, I think, with my mother. I think that I was very close to my mother growing up, and I'm very thankful. She was the one that got me into reading, which is a habit that is desperately needed in our society. Here's another real fun fact. Apparently 50% of the United States reads at a 5th grade reading level, which I think explains a lot of our problems. But I think that women play a very, very important role in our society, and a lot of the time are undervalued in Western society, a lot of the time, Western culture. I think a lot of cultures around the world, especially I think in Africa and some parts of Asia, are have been better about this. They've been more matriarchal, And I'm not saying that whether a male-led society or a female-led society is better than a male-led society. I don't think that either one is necessarily better than the other. I don't think we've ever had an example in history of, a very, very powerful matriarchal-led society. I think it's unfortunately been mostly like small scale, like at a tribe level or village level, because patriarchy has been so dominant, in our history. An aside, you can I studied anthropology and sociology as my bachelor's degree, so maybe this is also fucking coming out in this tirade that I'm going off on. I promise you I'm going to get back to this.
We're going to get somewhere back
We're
on
going to
track.
get somewhere. But my point being that, I honestly feel like the key to a good society or good culture is the balance between the two sexes. Like, I've talked to you about that political system that I think the Kurds in Kurdistan are exploring, and Rojava, around having a man and a woman always represent a given community. I think that would be an incredibly interesting political model to try, right? Like, instead of having either one male or one female representing a group of people, always have both sexes. All of that said, I'm prefacing all of this to say that I don't think it's healthy to necessarily say, like, and I'm talking about outside of the bedroom, right? People should be able to do whatever the fuck they want behind closed doors, whatever your kink is, do whatever gets you off.
But I don't know about whatever.
Well,
whatever legally gets you off.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm not talking about pedophilia. Okay, clearly. Fuck the pedophiles out there. So yeah, clearly not children, guys. Okay, I'm talking about between consenting adults. Yeah. Obviously, do whatever you want. But when it comes to, like, outside of, I guess, like, sexual relations, it starts to get weird, right? If you're suddenly like, just tell me what to do. Now, that also being said, do whatever the fuck you want, I guess. Like, I'm not going to tell you don't do that. I mean, at the end of the day, this is your life, and if you just want a man to tell you what the fuck to do, then I guess have fun. But I feel like, I don't know, I guess you're giving up some of your individuality, which is interesting even for me to say, because, like I've told you many times before, like, I feel like our culture, especially in the United States, is so individualistic. I think we've gone so in the other direction that we've, like, completely disregarded and downplayed and demonized the sense of community and being a part of a community and saying like, hey, we're all in this together. And like, so that is also very important at societal level. But at the end of the day, like, I feel like you need to assert yourself to a certain degree and like care about what you want in your life, right? So yeah, I don't necessarily think giving into what I kind of started off this whole tirade on, which is like giving into clearly a system that has been detrimental to culture or society since the dawn of man, which is the patriarchy, is necessarily a good thing to do. Again, I don't think that suddenly means that you have to just be this crazy ardent feminist that's like, fuck all men, whatever they say. Like I've been saying, I don't think that's good either. I think you need to strike a balance between the sexes and communicate with each other is really the heart of the problem. So I guess my viewpoint on this is, yeah, no, I don't agree. I don't think this is a good way to go, but also, I'm not going to tell you what to do. As I am not going to tell you what to do as a man. So yeah, I know I kind of went off on that and went on
I
a
knew
lot.
you were going to have a lot to say
Yeah.
about this
Like I
one.
said, if I have any fucking excuse to talk about culture and politics and power and stuff like that, I'm going to talk about it because it's one of the most interesting things in my head to talk about is because there's that opinion out there where like, oh, I don't do politics, I don't want to talk about politics, I don't give a shit. And the thing I always say, well, if you don't do politics, somebody's going to do politics against you and eventually it will affect you. So I think these things are important to talk about for sure.
For sure. To your point, I don't think it's a good idea, but I also am not going to tell you what to do. And that's also what feminism is supposed to be about. You having the ability to make that choice. If you were coming from a family where you did not want this kind of life, but your family's telling you, no, you're going to marry this man and you're going to do what he says and shut your mouth and that's that. And you were like desperately trying to get out, like that would be one thing. But if you are opting to choose the man that you want and you like, he has a 5, 10, 15-year plan and you're like, I love it, I'm on board, I want to be passenger princess of those ideas, then I guess like that's your right to choose that. The one thing that I would say is please have some kind of safety net, some kind of, you know, savings, some, like don't lose yourself in this relationship where you completely let go of your friends and family and like any other kind of support system. Because unfortunately, you are correct. A lot of men who do believe in this kind of relationship are not going to value your opinion. And I know that you're saying you don't even want to have one. You pretty much just want to listen to him. But at the end of the day, there are going to be things that you're going to want to have a say in. You're going to want him to take your opinion into account, and he applies that in whatever way to like what the final choice is. But I think that it's still going to be important that you have someone who does view you as a human being and not just an object, and they care about your likes and your dislikes and your preferences and things like that as he leads the both of you to wherever it is, wherever you're fucking going. So yeah, a lot of guys who believe in this kind of lifestyle, they are not going to be that way.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a unicorn to find the kind of guy who is going to take charge and it's going to be his way at the end of the day, but he still views you as a human being. So if this guy that you end up with ends up becoming this controlling monster, you need to have a way to get out. You need to have a support system that's going to be there for you, that you can escape to, that they're going to care about you. So maintain your relationships, have some kind of funds to be able to get out if need be, because I just would hate for that situation to happen. Or if, he ends up being this great guy, but then he dies, like then what happens to you, right? So just please think about your plan B for in a worst case scenario, this relationship does not end up working out or lasting.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point. Like women who put themselves in these positions, especially when it sounds like it's willingly putting themselves in the positions, like you're opening yourself up to a very precarious position,
Mm-hmm.
you know? I don't know if she necessarily said that she's like gonna stop working or something like that.
She never mentioned working.
Yeah. And it got me thinking also as you were talking about something else that I think we talked about, which was um, I wonder how much this like trend that's been going on for the last couple of years about women trying to embrace a traditional wife lifestyle or a soft life.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how much of it is driven by capitalism in the sense that I think a lot of women are just like reject maybe in a form rejecting like I need to like I don't want to work to just survive anymore, which is an interesting position, but I feel like it works if we're having like a general fucking strike where we'll all stop working.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I've mentioned to you before, it's like, yeah, I kind of understand that if that's kind of the driving factor behind some of this, for sure in principle, but in reality, and what you're doing is just putting then an undue burden on your man, right?
Mm-hmm.
To suddenly make sure that you guys survive. Because unfortunately, it ain't the 19 fucking 50s anymore where people can just survive off of one income, you know?
Most people, the
Yeah,
vast
the
majority
vast
of
majority
people.
of us, right?
Yeah.
Like it isn't like everybody's running around making 500 fucking grand. I guess that's what I'm trying to say is I think it puts an unrealistic expectation on men
Mm-hmm.
as well to suddenly just become like the sole provider in a relationship. And again, it puts both of you in a precarious position because if that man ever loses his job, what the fuck are you going to do now?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that that's also something to consider. Me being a man, I like I've always told you, I value you as a partner, and I do believe in equitability, right? Like if I'm making more money than you, then I should pay more things than you for sure. But I don't know if I ever want to be in this position where like I don't know, like there's just like an incredibly different power imbalance, you
Mm-hmm.
know? I don't know if that's a good way, a healthy relationship, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, that's one thing I kind of wanted to mention too, is that I was thinking about this whole trend that seems to be happening. Um, and I wonder how many women are actually thinking about it from that sense, too.
I think that things in life are very cyclical. Fashion, trends including ways of living. So, right, like in like the 50s, 60s, 70s, people like women just being like, I'll just be at home and I'll pour you a bourbon when you get back and I'll
Yeah.
cook and I'll clean. And, you know, I think that we've kind of come to this time now where surprisingly there are a lot of young people who are like, things should be traditional like that.
Hmm.
There are a ton of young people who are like, absolutely fucking not. But I think that there are a ton of young people who are like, yeah, things should just be like the way that they
Again,
were.
I agree with the underlying principle of like we just shouldn't all be working so much.
Mm-hmm.
We've had such a tremendous increase in productivity since the 70s, and the vast majority of us have not really seen the benefits of that productivity increase. It's all gone to the fucking 1%, right? So I think that is also a driving factor in these thoughts of like I don't want to, I mean, it seems to be manifesting in women a lot of the time,
Mm-hmm.
it seems like, where it's like, well, I don't want to do this anymore, like, I don't want to, whatever, I don't want to work or whatever it is. um and shit, I don't want to work either. So
I really don't want to go. I just want to go back to bed.
So, I'd love to benefit from a Star Trek like future, but unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be. That's where our society is going to. So that's what I'm getting at. Is like, in theory and principle, yeah, I think we should all be working fucking maybe 30 hours a week or less. At this point, why are we working so fucking much?
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, when we really don't need to anymore because we've created technology such that we're able to provide the necessary uh, the necessities to survive. The problem is distribution, right?
Mm-hmm.
Distribution of those resources into the right hands. So, and I wonder how much of this is also driven by like a right wing kind of conservative media that has taken over the last 20 years. They've poured so much money into it and kind of pushing these like trad values
Mm-hmm.
in like among Gen Z and Gen Alpha, which are super online, even though, millennials are kind of that transition generation of like, we started off with like no internet and then got internet. But with these other generations that grew up with fucking devices, like from since they were like babies, um, have been very much affected and influenced by a very conservative uh, media landscape that I think has been pushing these kind of things, right? Because to them, my understanding is, yeah, they want that kind of patriarchal, they want to return to that kind of culture, right? So yeah, it's a very complicated one. This one opened up a fucking can of
I
worms for
know.
me, for sure.
I knew
And I
it
do
would.
not think that this woman is probably thinking about this at this deep a
No,
level.
no.
To her, it just seemed, maybe it's just something she feels inside. But again, I guess what I'm bringing to the fore is that I wonder what the deeper structure is behind these thoughts, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, what is the driving thing? I don't think she just woke up one day and it's like, I just want to be this way. Our culture influences our thoughts. So I wonder, I wonder what she's been listening to, what she's been reading, if she's reading at all. That'd be a very interesting follow-up question,
I
I
know.
think,
I'd
for her.
love to like sit her down and talk to her to like really dive deeper into
Yeah,
like why she feels this
psychoanalyze this,
way.
like, these thoughts,
Yeah.
and like, again, like we kind of said, part of feminism is like, I want the choice, which is that's the other point I was going to make of, I know within feminist circles, I think there's some debate around just the idea of sex work, right? Like, is sex work empowering, or is it another manifestation of patriarchal culture?
It's empowering when you have the
The
choice and
control,
you have the control over the money, not some guy
not some
telling you
pimp.
what to do and where to be,
Right.
and you like are not reaping the benefits of like your work. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
guess
it's
that's
the
true. That's the
choice.
point. That is also the point, is like, who is ultimately the beneficiary of that sex work, right? But yeah, so very nuanced for sure. But my feeling on this is that I think it's definitely, if nothing else, a very slippery slope.
And I was going to say good luck to our next story, but there are comments, so let's read some
I'm
of
very
these
interested to see what people are
comments.
saying.
Let's see.
I think Reddit tends to lean a little left wing, so I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I'm curious.
So there actually were not a ton of comments, which is surprising, but the top one here is wanting a traditional dynamic in your own relationship doesn't cancel your feminism. Feminism is about having the freedom to choose your life, not forcing every woman to want the same one. And somebody else replies to that saying, "Thank you, that's exactly it. We also choose to live traditional. That doesn't mean I'm a doormat, just that I get more satisfaction from being a homemaker than a super independent career woman. OP, you're not alone." And OP replies to that saying, "Thank you, this kind of makes me feel better." And the last person replies here saying, "If anything, it would be anti-feminist to force yourself into a lifestyle that you don't want." So yeah, the idea of feminism is having the right to completely be independent and completely do everything on your own and have the same exact rights, lifestyle, pay, responsibilities of a man, right? But I guess these people are advocating that if I don't want that though, then I should have the right to just stay at home and clean the house and watch the kids, and my husband takes care of everything else,
Yeah,
right? I should
yeah,
have the choice.
yeah. It's like you said. Like, at the end of the day, like, I guess if you find a man that is able to do that, then I guess, fucking more power to you. Again, like, at the end of the day, everybody's got to march to the beat of their own drummer, so to speak. But yeah, I think there may be deeper structures at play here that I think about. Maybe it's just my mind. That's the way I think about things. But yeah, this one, it looks like, I don't know. This is a very gray one. This is a very gray one for me, for
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, girl, good luck to you. Good luck to you. That's what I'm going to say. Next one here, second to last one. This is coming also from True Off My Chest, of course, from Padded Vals, and it is titled, "Although I'm married with kids, I truly believe I'm better suited going through life solo."
Leave me alone.
Wait, I have kids, but I think I want to be solo.
Not
What?
that I want to be. I truly believe I'm better suited going through life solo.
Oh, God, the classic "I regret having children" post.
We'll see. We'll see if he regrets having kids. All right, so story goes, I love my wife and I love my kids, but I'm not supposed to be in relationships. I'm not going to excuse how I am as a person. I know it's not normal. I have no brain space for other people's stories, troubles, worries. Unless it's actually serious and life threatening, I truly don't care what anyone is saying to me. People start speaking to me and I instantly zone out.
Jesus. Okay.
Work colleagues telling me about their lives is like nails down a chalkboard for me. I can be cold and distant. I'm brutally honest if asked an opinion. I am not very affectionate when it's expected of me. In fact, if I know someone is expecting something of me, it makes my skin crawl having to do it. I will always work my hardest for my wife and my kids because that's what I know. I can and have had fun with my family. It's not all doom and gloom. I have close friends. We socialize regularly and have a laugh. I'm not 100% a miserable guy. Within my brain, I am extremely selfish. If I didn't have to consider thinking for anyone else, I'd be happy. People will most likely suggest I leave my family. That is not going to happen. My wife already knows what I'm like, and as far as she tells me, she loves me despite my stupid ways. I was always this way, even before we met, and I didn't put an act on at the start.
Wow. Okay. So, I don't, I honestly feel that people don't spend enough time thinking about themselves and what they want out of life before making major life fucking decisions like this. Like, I'm going to get married and I want to have children. I think that, and I don't think this is just an American thing. I think it's also just around the world thing. There's a lot of pressure to get married and have children and all those things. So I think a lot of people just go on fucking autopilot for this shit, and then, 10 years later wake up and be like, what did I do? Right. Um, so that's one thing. The other thing is that, yeah, this guy sounds incredibly selfish and self-aware enough to know that he's selfish. And that's seems like a character flaw. I don't I that's an I think you and I have talked about this before, like people that are just like, you gotta accept me for who I am and take me for whatever the fuck I say. Like, no, bitch, like what are you talking about? Like if you are a bad person, you should work on that. And I don't think selfishness is a quality to aspire to, right? Like it's great because we've talked about this other thing before about people lacking self-awareness. This guy seems to be self-aware, so check box there, great. But take the next step now and like realize that, wait a minute, is like selfishness a good thing? um I would very much argue no, right? That being said, clearly you and I are of the opinion that not everybody should get married, not everybody should have children. So I think you made a major fucking blunder there, given how you kind of feel about these things. But it also is very confusing because it's like, yeah, but I'm not going to leave my wife and children. So like, you clearly don't know what the fuck you actually want, right? Um, Although it sounds like you would benefit more from being, I don't know, some sort of mountain hermit. It sounds like, which, hey, no knock on mountain hermitism. I mean, God, if I ever find myself alone in the future, which I hope that never happens because I love you so much, and you are one of the best things that ever happened to me. I'm probably going to retreat to some sort of forest hermitage of some fucking kind for sure, because I kind of feel this myself that like, which is also a juxtaposition in my own personality, I think, is that I am fundamentally a socialist, but I also kind of, and maybe I'm just world weary, you know, and I'm just like also just tired of just like how just this society functions, and kind of sick of just this hamster wheel that I feel like I find myself on a lot of the time. So yeah, I guess what I'm saying is I empathize with just the idea of just rejection of society in general and just going off somewhere and being by myself too, but not at the expense. It almost, I guess what I'm trying to say is His idea of this almost stems though not from like a rejection of society and be like I just don't believe in this thing anymore
Mm-hmm.
and I want to leave it. His just seems like I just want to do me, bitch. You know what I mean? Which is a different kind of thing than what I'm talking about, like in my own head. Um, yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say here is that I think this man needs to seriously think about and work on himself. I don't think this is a healthy thing to just be okay with being a selfish person.
Yeah, this guy seems to just be like the utmost misandrist, right? He's like
And up knows what?
misandrist,
What does that mean?
somebody who just hates people.
Oh, okay. Like a misanthrope.
Yeah,
Is that what the
I think so.
misanthrope,
I
right?
believe so.
Google
Here,
it. We have the
we have the
technology.
technology. Misanthrope describes a general hatred, distrust, or contempt for humankind.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. So we were right.
That's
we
it.
read.
That's
We
it.
read books.
Oh, you see, a misandrist is a person who holds prejudice, contempt, or hatred towards men or boys. So you're correct.
I am
Mine
correct.
specifically towards men.
Okay. So I was right, but I had no idea what a misandrist was. So I learned something new
We
today.
learned something new.
A man hater.
Yeah.
Misandrist. Okay.
So,
TIL.
huh?
Today I learned.
Yes. So yeah, misanthrope. This person sounds just like they just hate all human beings and they literally only have the capacity to tolerate
Themselves.
their wife, their kids,
Yeah.
however many kids they have. And I guess he says he has a couple of friends who he hangs out with from time to time. But literally like everybody else can just go to hell, pretty much. I guess I'm happy to hear that he's like I don't know if happy is the right word to use, but happy to hear that he is like, I'm not gonna like abandon my wife and kids. I had them and I'm committed to taking care of them. But also like my heart hurts for like your kids because it's like, do you really, really love them though? Because if you really hate people this much and like the idea of somebody wanting or needing something from you is like the worst thing on planet Earth. Your skin crawls at the idea of knowing somebody is like expecting something from you, like affection. Your kid wants to hug you, and you're like, oh, I guess because like I'm obliged to. But like, fuck. Like, I just feel bad for your kids. Like, people can only mask the feeling of like doing something that they don't want to do for so long. So there has to be times where he's interacting with his wife and his kids and your wife is like, I accept it, I love you, okay, but like your kids didn't ask for that.
Right.
Your kids didn't ask to have you as a father, and then they're trying to like interact with you.
You're just like, what do you want, little Timmy?
Like they're gonna pick up on that.
Yeah.
So I just feel like terrible for the fact that I feel pretty strongly that your kids have probably at some point or will pick up on the fact that you like don't really want to be interacting with them. You're just doing it because like you know you have to. So God,
Not good. Doesn't sound good.
doesn't sound good at all. Honestly, I think this guy probably sounds like a psychopath, lacking empathy,
little bit.
not caring
Yeah.
about other people. I think he needs to find professional help and figure out what these feelings are because it is not normal to feel this way about people.
Definitely
It's really not.
Definitely not. And again, I'm not like, I'm an introvert, right? It's not like I'm jumping for joy all the time when I'm like interacting with people. I have to like recharge by myself, but that's not what this is. This, like you said, this kind of has undertones of psychopathy a little bit, maybe not, I'm going to go out and kill people, but just, just like a deep selfishness, which is not good.
No.
What do the people say?
The people say, why did you propose?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the next comment down, which is a little bit long, is you'd be surprised at how many people get into marriage and parenthood because they've been socially conditioned to feel as if it's the natural next step.
Mm-hmm.
They may have never felt a burning desire for these things or wanted them at all, but somehow they're convinced that if they don't walk this path, they won't have a real fulfillment or they'll be inadequate in comparison to their peers. So then they take the step of having a family, not realizing how hard it can be, constant daily grind, way less or no disposable income, no freedom to do as you please and when you please, sleeplessness, and overall little time to focus on your own needs. They become resentful and regretful over time, imagining what their single, carefree, and child-free life would have been like. So yeah, like you said, he's just like, I guess I'm just supposed to, even though I don't want this, let me just do it because everybody else is. Maybe he's like, the burden of being asked for the rest of my life, like where my wife and kids are, is going to be more annoying than having the family is, even though that's going to be annoying too. I don't know.
It's not right.
It ain't right.
It ain't right. Yeah, people need to just stop fucking being so robotic about making these major life decisions, man.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Last comment here is, I think you should speak with a therapist or doctor about this before doing anything permanent.
Yep.
Yeah. I think you should seek professional help immediately.
Yep.
And last story here. This is a week old. It is from Not a Real Account Name 1. And it's titled, I Found My Boss's OnlyFans. She streams video games as a side hustle, and I recently clicked her link tree to see if she had a YouTube channel. Instead, I found a link to her OF. Now I've seen my boss's asshole and pierced tits. I also work with her tomorrow morning, and I feel like it's going to be weird. I won't say anything. Her having OF isn't an invitation for me to act inappropriately, but damn, now I know what's under that uniform.
Is this a dude or a guy? You don't even know?
They don't say.
They don't say. I don't really have much of an opinion here. I'm just like, that's just funny. You know? Opened up a few too many doors, I guess.
Could you imagine your boss right now finding their OF?
No, because my boss is a man. So
he could still have one.
I guess so. But it would be strange. Yeah, it just is a very strange thing. It would be a very strange thing. Yeah, I don't even know. The concept of OF to me is just like so funny. I guess it's very feminist, right? You're like taking power instead of giving it to the industry. You're like taking charge of your own sex. I think the idea of just finding your boss's OF is funny, but I just don't really have another opinion on this other than it's just really funny. I guess my only piece of advice, yeah, don't mention it. Don't talk to him about it. Sometimes you get really lucky and you have this like fantastic relationship with your boss and they kind of become your friend. I feel like I've been kind of lucky that's happened to me maybe 3 out of 4 times out of, my life, my professional career, which is, I think, unusual. But at the end of the day, like this person is still like evaluating you, right? At some level. So yeah, probably not a good strategic move to be like, hey, so I found your OF. Great tits, like probably not. But that's pretty funny.
And so the comments here. So you just gave her your paycheck right back. And OP replies back, LOL, pretty much. Nah, it was only a few bucks and totally worth it.
Sounds like it was a dude.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's a dude.
It sounds like it was a man.
Yeah. I just don't feel like there's definitely girls out there that have, watch OF, I'm sure, but I feel like it's majority male driven. It's like, I definitely want to see my boss's tits.
Again, he wasn't looking for it,
Yeah, but he clicked the link and he clicked pay.
Yes.
There was a series of decisions.
Once he got there, he knew what he was doing. But he wasn't like going into it like, I want to find my boss's OF. Like he was like, oh, she streams. Like she plays video games. She streams. Cool. Linktree. Maybe she has a YouTube channel that I can like see more videos. Click. Oh my, that's a butt.
Yeah, let me tell you, I feel like the e-girl to fucking OF pipeline is strong out there, bro. Like, it's real strong.
Last few comments here. What kind of job do you have? I would be so paranoid to have an OF at a regular 9 to 5. OP replies, I mean, she's pretty open about her sex life. She always checks to make sure people are comfortable talking about sex, and most of us are friends outside of work. She never mentioned the OF, but also I doubt she's very ashamed of it. Someone replies back, "This is effing weird. I'm a boss and I cannot fathom asking my team, 'Hey guys, you cool to talk about sex?' How does that even come up?"
Isn't this like an HR violation? Like
Huge one.
at most places outside of maybe the sex industry? Like what the hell?
Somebody else replies back, "OP never answers, but this sounds like retail, food industry, restaurant industry.
Oh yeah,
Hell, I wouldn't
that
be
tracks.
surprised."
That tracks actually. As a former food industry person way back when.
Yeah, you see?
Yeah. That industry is wild, man.
They said, I wouldn't be surprised if OP and their boss worked at Best Buy. Anecdotally, Best Buy employees seem to have the freakiest, seem to be the freakiest behind chain restaurant employees. And then one more person says, "LMAO, as a former Best Buy employee for 7 years, I must admit that's the first thing I thought too. What are you people doing at Best Buy?
Yeah, I never would have known this.
What's
Never.
happening at Best Buy?"
Strange. Weird.
That's very funny. All right, well, that's it. That's what I've gotten for you today. I think this is a little bit more serious,
This is a deep one.
a deeper one
This is
than
a
my
deep-
past
deep
episodes
thoughts.
have been.
Deep thoughts were shared. On this one.
Right, Sprout? Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Oh, yeah. Oh, by the
She's
way,
British.
yeah, that's our sneaking suspicion that she actually is originally from England. Somehow made it across the ocean.
Yeah,
and we found her
I think
on the street.
deep down she is a con artist, so she's
Yeah,
actually
that's
not
also-
British.
Right. That is
But
also one
she's-
of our other hypotheses is that she's actually just a fucking liar.
We've exposed too much. But that's what I've got for you today. Thank you so much for being here. I
Always
really
pleasure.
appreciate it. It's
Yes.
always so fun. Well, again, this one really wasn't that fun. This is much more serious. But
I love getting philosophical though, so it's
it
great.
does. Good time for you. Well, I'll see you guys next week. It'll be a fun time. It'll be more lighthearted, I think, next week. Bye from me.
Bye-bye.
Bye from Sprout.
I know. Look, she stayed the whole time.
Stayed the whole time.
It's like this was an interesting one.
Very weird, but I am pro sex work. We all are in this house. All right, bye guys.
Bye-bye.
Oh man,
Ooh, I put my toe on my straw.
Oh, all right.
It's disgusting.